Well, the idea behind this project was that the landscape around Seaford is particularly stunning, and it would be a lovely thing to help the young people here to appreciate the amazing land and seascape that surrounds them as they're growing up. I was interested in starting a project that would take a wide range of children from all sorts of backgrounds and introduce them to poetry, music and art, which had been inspired by the local landscape. We were fortunate to have Jackie Wills, an outstanding poet based in Brighton, to lead the poetry workshops. She managed to do a workshop for 240 children. She introduced them to the ideas of metaphors and similes, and they did some work surrounding local nature. For music, we had Simon Birch, who's a young composer, outstandingly talented. He grew up and went to school in Lewes. So they took a field trip down to the beach and made recordings of sounds of the kittiwakes and the sounds of the waves and the wind and the pebbles. And then they went back to work on soundscapes. And he was interested in composing a piece and setting 3 Seaford poems written specially for the project by Peter Martin to music, and the Corelli Ensemble will be performing them. Art, we were so lucky to have Sarah Gregson. I love Sarah Gregson's paintings of views of Seaford, and they're so unique and uplifting. There's absolutely gorgeous colours that she uses, and so she came in and she did 1.5 days of workshops with the children, and the kids obviously loved working with her.
Because I just love Seaford and the landscape, it's really I'm really deeply rooted there, and a project about that area and about encouraging people to actually look around them, that sounded good to me. I chose about 20 different artists who painted in very different styles, and then I had about 20 different photos of the local area, and I asked them to recreate one of those photos, or they could take their own photo, in the style of one of those artists. So it was quite a complex and sophisticated sort of concept, really. I think some managed it straight away. They understood it, they ran with it. It was great. They really understood. Others struggled a little bit. Others did their own thing, and to be honest, I was happy with all of those eventualities. I thought I didn't want to be too prescriptive about it. They could, as long as they were looking and appreciating the local landscape and reproducing it in some form, I thought that was fine. There is a huge range of styles and approaches, and I was really impressed with them. What particularly impressed me was that there's a lot of things that I avoid in my own work. I avoid doing the beach huts, or else I make them really small because they're really difficult. And they just went for it. You know, there were so many of them that took that kind of viewpoint, and really successfully. So I was really impressed, and I set myself that challenge afterwards, and I've tried to do it myself, following what they did. So it's been a two-way learning thing.
Well, originally I went to see a silver band concert at the school, and they had a violinist, a local violinist there playing Maeve, who I asked to come and do a workshop with the violin students in the school, which she did, and she then asked if we'd be interested in doing this project to do with cross-curricular art forms in the local environment. And as I'd just become the arts coordinator for the school, I thought it'd be a really good project to get involved with. We decided that Year 7 would be the best year group, that's the first years at school, just because they don't have the exam restrictions, and their teachers are more likely to let them out of lessons to do something different. There's 225 roughly in that year group. It's quite complicated. It required quite a lot of planning with the people that organise the timetable, with the heads of year. I've learned a lot about the way that students don't necessarily appreciate the area in which they live. About a third of the students had never walked up to Splash Point or Seaford Head, which was where we took them on the field trip. I learnt a lot about the local history of the area myself, and I also learnt how powerful it is to get practitioners, people that actually are experts in their art form, in to work with students, and the effect that that can have on the work of the students and the attitude of the students. It's really quite powerful and very effective, much more effective than I thought it would be when I started the project. There wasn't anyone that I spoke to that didn't enjoy the project or didn't think it was worthwhile. And a lot of the students wanted to come to the concert and take part in it because of the work that they'd done during the project. The way in which our students were working alongside professionals, especially the musicians who came in from the Corelli ensemble to work with our students and played the same pieces at the end, and not only got our students involved, but first of all showed the students how well they can play as a professional group in the first half of the concert, and mixing that with the artwork, the media work and the photography and the drama as well. It was really quite a powerful event for parents to come and see and for students to take part in.
When Dave approached me about the project, which was to involve art and drama and music and English, I was really excited. I think it made a difference that it was cross-curricular and it was a real learning experience, that they went out into the town that many of them had lived in all their life. You know, they went a quarter of a mile away from the school and then they saw things that they hadn't seen in Seaford before. We've been under real pressure in school to concentrate on English and on maths and what are seen to be academic subjects in school, and they are really important. But every student in this school has a favourite subject, and for some of those students that favourite subject, that thing that really drives them on, will be art or will be music or will be drama. And it was just so refreshing to see those students who had that love being able to excel in a way that was appreciated by the whole community of Seaford, and will have really motivated them across the whole range of subjects, and will have done a huge amount for making sure that many of those students actually continue to pick an art subject at GCSE. Fantastic feedback from parents, from students and from the artists that we worked with. One of the great things was when we presented the students' work along with professional artists' work, and we had musicians playing with our musicians, and we had poetry from our students and a professional poet, and the impact that that had in raising aspirations was seen by the parents, by the students and by the professionals themselves. I can remember a parent leaving and saying that's the best thing I've ever seen in this school. I can remember another parent talking about the quality of the Year 7 artwork, because the quality of that work was better than some of the GCSE artwork that we produce in school, because the students had been really inspired by going out into Seaford and seeing Seaford in a different way than they'd seen it before.
Would I do it again? Definitely, I would do it again because of the profile of the arts being raised in the school and the amount of students that enjoyed it and got something from it.
I think if the school could manage it, it would be great, but I realised that it's involved a huge amount of people in a lot of work, a lot of it voluntary, and it may not be, it's just maybe that it's something that isn't possible to repeat it, so maybe it's a one-off. But if it was possible, it would be great.
Absolutely, I would absolutely love to do it again. It was a lot of work, but I think the benefits that we got back were amazing.
If we did it another time, we would definitely need to have some significant funding from, bodies such as the Arts Council. I suspect if we don't find a good amount of sponsorship for this project, it may well not be able to function. This project isn't aimed at an immediate result. It's really aimed at inspiring children to a lifelong love and connection with the arts and the environment they live in. And I very much hope that they will continue to attend concerts, go to see art exhibitions, be interested in poetry, and have a greater understanding of the history and nature of their own home environment that will just give them some uplifting times in their lives.